Hello, and welcome back to the Have We Made It Yet podcast. My name is Josh Yang.
Oh, and my name is Lucas Ng, the actor portion of this podcast.
And Lucas and I will break out in a duet. Just the two of us. We can make it if we... I don't know.
Do you actually know the words?
No, I just know the first little bit of it.
Oh.
Mainly because it is just the two of us. That's why I did that. I'm not as... Well, I can carry a tune kind of in karaoke, but...
You can.
I don't know if I did that very well here. Anyways, but yes, this is another episode of the Have We Made It Yet podcast. This week, we want to get back to just the two of us talking about where we are. It's been a while. We've had a bunch of guests since the last time we've done it. Quite a few big guests that we were excited to have on. Lucas, who was your favorite guest coming up?
Actually, man, don't put that on me.
I know. I shouldn't. I should. Mainly because I forgot at the top of our, we can't break with tradition.
Exactly.
At the top of our podcast, Lucas, have you made it yet?
That's me addressing the audience. No, I have not made it yet. Although, and then I was talking to one of my good friends, actually, a former guest on this podcast. And I'll be honest, when I was talking with her, because I'm in Vancouver right now, when I was talking with her, I was on the verge of maybe at least cooling down the acting thing and be like, this is just a pipe dream. This is something. But then, and I shouldn't let this affect my emotions too much, but then I really got a cool audition for I'm going to say it, whatever. It's probably for a Hallmark movie.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put it out there because who cares? Who cares? My girlfriend's probably like, don't say these things out loud, but I said it. It's for a pretty cool role, and I did the audition. I did the self-tape for it, and submitted it, and we'll see what happens from there. But man, this whole journey is a freaking roller coaster, man. And it's not even one of the fun ones where it's just up and down. It's up, down, upside down, backwards, forwards, everywhere. So it's a little topsy-turvy right now, but things are moving, which is encouraging.
That sounds like a fun roller coaster, though. Up, down, side, up, forwards and backwards. I mean, you'll probably throw up, but I mean, that does sound like a fun roller coaster. Wait, when did you have this conversation? How long ago?
Let's see. When did I get back from Tofino? Oh, I went to Tofino, people. Great place, by the way. I probably had that conversation on Tuesday.
Wow. So this was actually...
Oh, no, sorry. Monday. Yeah.
Monday. Oh, that makes a huge difference. But okay. Wow. So that's actually, I didn't know you were... I mean, I kind of, over the months, we had a little inkling because of coronavirus and everything. Everybody's reassessing a bit more about what they want to do. It's like, I didn't know you were at that stage where you were actually thinking about it a bit more seriously, about maybe taking a step back. But that's good. So that means that new audition thing happened just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. And it just really brought to mind the fragility of the mind. Of course, nothing is... As we heard from Chase last week, there are so many things in our creative professional life that will go to shit, to be honest. And it's really just up to us to find other facets of ourselves to make us feel fulfilled. Because if we just put all our eggs in one basket, whereas mine could be acting, yours could be in comedy, and they don't pan well, goodbye mental identity, goodbye self-worth.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that to a certain point as well. But there is something I think that is self-fulfilling in the sense that if you do attach yourself to one identity, or at least you can identify with that identity stronger, that does provide a sense of direction that you may not have before. Where before maybe you might be uncertain. But then if you understand that you see that that's something you want to do, then it also provides a sense of confidence and I think mental focus there. But of course, I think like what Chase said is still very important in the sense
Yeah.
that like you should still have be aware of your expectations for like identify with different avenues, but also be
Mhm.
flexible enough to like adjust your expectations.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, like tunnel vision can be a big help sometimes too. Um, like a 100-meter sprinter isn't thinking about other races at that same time when he or she is at the at
Yeah.
the starting track, Um, but to you though, Mr. Josh Yang,
Huh. To me,
in your nice vintage Vancouver Canucks t-shirt.
yes.
With glasses this time, mind you, though. You look nice.
I know. Thank you.
You know.
I don't know why. Anyways, but yes, you were gonna ask me something.
Mr. Josh Yang, have you made it yet?
I have not.
Mm.
I have not.
Ooh.
And I haven't been doing much to get there in the last week or so, or last couple of weeks. So I mean, it's like I don't know. There's like with Ontario shutting down even further.
Yeah.
Um, even like I guess I do kind of regret not entirely doing a couple shows in that 1 month period of time in the summer, where it's like in between all of the cases and the
Hmm.
graphs and stuff like that. But then at the same time, also like, well, I didn't feel like I wanted to risk it, or I wanted to see how things were playing out either way. But yeah, now it seems like now that everything's shut down, even not everything's shut down completely, but it seems like there's a pulling back. Winter is coming. Yeah, I feel like I don't know when I'm gonna be actually doing it next. And the sleep podcast,
Yeah.
I've been kind of a little negligent there as well. Haven't done as many episodes. But I gotta refocus, try to maintain more consistency. I started a new job, so I mean I'll give that excuse. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is gonna be a long winter. It's gonna be a long winter.
Yeah, man. Like, hopefully you just keep warm, if anything, man. Like, I see your blankets behind you, but you know, make sure you get some warmth on the inside too, because you're still my good buddy, man. I don't want you to get too cold on the inside.
Yeah, I might just swallow a lump of coal and then just be like, ugh, and then like churn it, and then I don't know where I'm going. I did get a body pillow.
Oh, did you really? Nice.
Yeah, yeah, I got a body pillow, and
And is that a waifu for you, or?
whoa. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but no, I kind of like just based upon my setup, I thought I should have a couple other pillows.
Is it one of those
Uh,
like long ones, like a hot dog one?
yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I'm really getting comfortable and set up because like the way I have it set up, TV here, bed here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm ready for the long haul, the long winter of just watching shows and hopefully learning from them, and like maybe taking another crack at writing, sitting down and writing. Have
Do
you been
it, man.
have you been writing stuff lately? Like have you like I forgot because I remember you wrote a short
Yeah.
while you were at school. Have you been writing anything since then?
Not really. I've actually been more focused on marketing it.
Marketing it. Wait, what
Yeah,
do you mean?
yeah. Like looking at script contests to submit it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like of course, yes. I should be more diligent in my writing right now. But I also found like, man, you gotta, it's one thing to write, but it's another thing to be able to push your stuff out there too. So I've been talking to that same friend who's a great resource, and her and I were just talking about like the I think the Austin City Limits script writing contest. Apparently
Oh,
it's one of the
nice.
top tier ones. And anyone who listens to this, please don't quote me on that. I just know that the word Austin is in that script writing contest. It might not be city limits. Um, but yeah, I've just been like compiling a list of competitions that I can submit my script to, and eventually, hopefully, make it into something, because I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I did get that award from Ryerson University. So, so it has given me like a boost to believe in my own stuff and be willing to push it out there, because I think it is at least somewhat worthwhile to have it out there and for other people to read it.
Yeah, I've been trying to similar along lines, like, when there's everything was shut down and whatnot, and expecting, not going out as much during winter. I did
Mhm.
sign up to masterclass.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
you might have masterclass
Yep.
as well, but like I started following and listening and watching to more of the writers on masterclass,
Nice.
in terms of writing short story, writing novel, fiction, script writing, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And that one of the main things that they did emphasize is like you can plan out however much you want, but what it comes down to is writing every day, writing as much as you can, and then finish your writing. Like
Yeah.
actually, don't just write, and then can never stop writing, and then don't feel like you have a complete product. Like finish a complete written project or
Mhm.
product, and then edit it so that like you feel like you've hit that milestone, you've hit that mark, and then send it out. Like
Mhm.
send it out to as many things or places or avenues that you can get it out. And like worst case scenario, they don't reply, they don't respond, but some situations they might give feedback.
Yeah.
And like that's what I've kind of gathered from just watching different authors and writers talk. Like Neil Gaiman has a very good one on
Mhm.
storytelling. And then I've been following the Joyce Carol Oates one for short stories.
Nice. Nice.
So it's like it seems like the general consensus is write, finish writing, and then
Mhm.
send it out, and then just keep repeating that until you get better.
Yeah. And on that note, though, um, I'm at home right now, and like just to the right of me
Yeah.
is sorry, when I say home, I mean still in Vancouver. To the right of me is like my old piano that I still play like close to every night. So I haven't been writing like a lot of like literature or like I don't know, what do you call writing like this?
Uh,
Literature writing? Penmanship writing?
penmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I have
So
been like writing a lot of piano tracks.
wow. Wait,
Yeah.
did you take theory when you were learning?
Not really. Like to be honest, I never did like RCM, like the Royal Conservatory of that stuff or anything. But I did have like piano teachers who taught me basic theory and all that stuff. And to this day, I just create my own stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, like back when I used to be in bands and all that stuff, I used to create all that stuff just to the right of me. And every time I'm home, I also see like bursting ideas that I can just write so much more, and I do. And I feel sometimes it's just being in the right atmosphere also gets you into that right mind space to really create because it's not really just the setting within yourself, but
Mm.
also the set, like where you are physically, that also promotes good writing too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like so far, the last couple times when I went back to Vancouver as well, we have piano at home. My
Mhm.
sister actually went up to like level 10 and did the RMC, RC, whatever it is, um, tests, theory tests and stuff. And like, yeah, even when I go back, I find myself playing on it a lot more and like trying to practice certain songs more. And it's like, it's true
Nice.
once you get back into that environment. I always hated theory though. Like I never
Yeah.
wanted to learn like go into like the chord progressions and all kind of that. But now I'm realizing you really do need, you can't just um like read, like understand how to read music, of course, but like you can't just read the music, practice, play, memorize the songs.
Yep.
Like that's like just a form of like you're you're learning how to play those songs. Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessarily learning how to play the instrument,
Mhm.
right? It was just, but like the theory element is actually where you're learning how to actually play the instrument because
Exactly.
you're learning how the chord progressions affect each other, and then you can add your creativity to it. And that's
Yeah.
the thing where like I think for me, I learned more just classical songs or scores, but then I never really, I think I might have preferred would have preferred more jazz piano,
Cool.
because that would have been a lot more like you learn the jazz songs, but you also learn the individual fingering and going from one melody to another melody in a free flowing type of way, which I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
like would be better. What did you learn? You learned more classical?
I'm in. Did I learn more classical? I'm definitely inspired by more classical. Like the things that I make are more contemporary classical stuff, like Philip Glass.
Mm,
If you know him, he makes like it's a lot of like arpeggio music and everything,
okay.
but it's like soundtrack for like a freeway. Like imagine how a freeway would sound, or like flowing, or like a tsunami hitting the city or something like that. Like imagine how that would sound, and that really inspired me to create songs like that. Yeah, I just maybe it's the season right now, but like for some reason I've been watching a lot more horror movies lately. And then
Nice.
I found like you know what makes a really good horror movie?
Suspense.
Well, yeah, but the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
Sound.
yeah, Hereditary soundtrack,
I,
Midsummer's soundtrack.
but are you talking soundtrack as in the music, or
Yes.
also, but also like the ambiance, the sound effects that like
Um
set the setting?
well both like the OST, the original sound score, the
Mm,
original
mm.
soundtrack of it. Um just beautiful pieces mixed in with terror. It is such a cool concept, and I've been really inspired by that. And I've been creating a lot more things that are within that kind of same line.
Interesting. So you're thinking more so emotional influence of music upon the visual elements, upon like the story. Not I thought you were referencing like, oh, I'm coming up with these melodies and I'm being creative with like creating a song or something. But
Mm.
you're talking more ethereal.
Yeah. Um, I would say like a little mix of both too. Like definitely there are like cool melody lines that are coming through with this, but I think I want to invoke more of a feeling rather than just creating a melody line.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Mhm.
Have you thought about like, as a form of practice, maybe taking a section, a clip of a movie and then like rescoring it? I think I've seen a lot of YouTube creators or scorers out there like doing that kind of project.
I never thought of that, but I will start. I will start. I was just rewatching Interstellar again, and I'm like, I want to
That's
create a great I want to create another OST for that. Like,
that I think that score is like one an all-time great score in terms of not experimentation, I think. Because I remember seeing a behind the scenes of that, and like some of the biggest, grandest moments in the space travel, they apparently think they went and used like a centuries old organ in Europe in
yeah,
like an
yeah.
old church, and they just got the guy who was playing it for years to churn out the score that they had, and just the levels and the quality of the sound of that
Oh,
score was like mind blowing, given, and it matched very well with the visuals and the story that they were telling. So
yeah.
you know what, one score I always loved, I absolutely loved it. It was the one that kind of, okay, two scores. Lord of the Rings, I fucking, that's my jam.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
melodies in Lord of the Rings were so good, so iconic, so memorable. I just love how they were so big, grand, and then some of the Hobbiton ones were also really like really delicate. It's just so much musicality in them. But another one I think is a very underappreciated score is in Bruges score,
Mm, okay.
where that one is like da 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 da. Anyways, I'm butchering it because I'm not a piano. Um, but yeah, I really love that piano melody. I learned it on the piano. I that's that's a great one in my opinion, because that one
Nice.
stuck in my head and it was such a definitive sound that I think it set the mood of the film very well.
That's awesome, man. Dude, there's always, of course, like there's great cinematography and everything like that, but if the movie has a great score,
Mm.
oh, chef's kiss, man.
Have you watched No Country for Old Men?
I have. Except
That's
that I don't remember much about the score though.
no, there, because there wasn't there, they had
Oh,
no
okay.
score.
Okay, thank
That's what,
God.
yeah, that's why I brought it up, because I was thinking, I remember that was the one movie I remember reading something about where they had no music in it.
Hmm.
It was all just background, or the actions, and it's like it was a very conscious choice to not have that because like the main story is so devote devoid,
Devoid.
devoid. Yeah, it's so devoid of emotion and
Yeah.
humanity, based upon how the main character is like a serial killer psychopath, right? That I think that was the conscious decision they made to not include any music, because what you're seeing is just right there, and it's like
Exactly.
attaching some kind of emotion would feel odd, I think, is what the Coen brothers could have been going for. I
For
don't know. I haven't
sure.
read, but yeah, no, score. I think other than visual, score is probably the most important element.
But I think to also give us a little bit more like encouragement space. Like, of course, we can always be like so punitive on us, like, oh, we should write more, we should do all this stuff, blah 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 blah. Like, for me, I'm a lot more open to the idea of just watching good acting, or in your case, like good writing, as a part of research for ourselves too, to keep us inspired. So, like me rewatching Interstellar, me like listening to a great score, like better informs my work. So at the same time, like, don't be so hard on yourself if you're not writing so much. So long as you keep watching and keeping inspired, I think
Yeah.
that's a good way to look at it too.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the one thing that I kind of have a bit of a disconnect is like I keep on wondering, like, because I always had this idea of, in terms of the director's perspective, is like director has full control over the execution of the film. So
Mhm.
whatever the film execute is, like the director is the one who's able to put their mark on it per se. But then at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like then I started like learning a bit more about writing and writing the script and everything. It's like, wait, hold on. How do you write a story without an idea of what it looks like?
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
thing that, like, I guess I still got to figure out how to get into that mindset, because if you write a script, because a script can go through so many different iterations. It can be like, different directors, actors can see the scripts of whatever the person wrote, and when you write the scripts
Mhm.
individually, it's also non-specific as well,
Yeah,
to a
yeah.
certain degree, because
Yep.
you describe, you put the words on there, you allude to the emotions, but then you're supposed to still leave it up to interpretation for the actors and the
Exactly.
director.
Mhm.
So I guess that's the thing I can't seem to compartmentalize whenever I'm imagining attempting to write, and probably just have to learn more a bit about it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of this episode of the podcast. Since it's just the two of us, we want to like keep it nice and short, short and sexy. I don't know why. I don't
Sexy
know.
is short. Short is sexy.
I don't know why I said it that way. It just happened. But okay, so we're gonna change things up a bit. Instead of just doing the one word association, just the two of us, I thought we should try a little something different. So we're gonna
Mhm.
do a random question generator. The more random, the better.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna ask Lucas 3 questions. Lucas is gonna ask me 3 questions, and we're just gonna rotate random questions, an online generator, and then we'll just have quick answers, quick discussion, and then just call it a night. So, Lucas, first question.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, hit me,
Are you
hit
ready?
me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit
Okay.
you. Okay, gonna right hook you like Brian Ortega slapped Jay Park.
Good fight.
I didn't watch it. Okay. First question.
Mhm.
If you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be?
Was this really part of the random question generator?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
If I was a vegetable, man. Okay, okay, okay. I would be I would be a. What vegetables are there? I would Okay, because I work in produce right now at Sobeys back in Toronto. Um, I would be romaine lettuce,
Mm,
just because it is a hot selling item that is easily accessible to many people, but rich and poor alike. Everyone loves romaine lettuce. So
right,
I would
right.
be romaine lettuce.
And then when you get very popular and get turned into Caesar salad, you get stabbed in the back by Cicero. I don't know.
Shakespearean almost.
I don't know. Is Cicero the one? Anyways,
All right, all right. Let me hit you. Okay, so one of three. I'm just gonna go. Okay, all right, okay. This one's a good one. What issue will you always speak your mind about?
hmm, comedy, I think. I think comedy, just mainly because of not necessarily like because I think it is still ends up being like a challenging. Oh,
Just my parents are coming. Whatever. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing
parents!
this.
Oh no! Oh no! Our parents are coming. Oh, everybody's really we've like. It's funny how this situation has really made us all kind of like have to huddle in with our parents more, and it's kind of like, oh, we're all going back in time.
So comedy is what you want to
Comedy,
speak about.
yeah, because like I feel like in comedy there's a lot of misconceptions on what your average audience viewer views of comedy, whereas like in terms of the art form and how people, even how comedians approach it, like sometimes it can be more aggressive, abrasive, and like people, not everybody is going to take what jokes you make in a good way, but then I think it's really an element of like how you know how how people and humans interact and talk about topics and converse. And like making jokes is an element of the human kind of psyche, and it's like just talking about subjects and making jokes about it. And like not all those jokes is going to be very PC. It's going to be challenging, but I think I'd still defend the base element of like people's right and free speech of saying those jokes, but while also saying like some jokes are also just bad. Some jokes that like offend people are also like inherently bad. Like I would defend like a well thought out joke that is like abrasive, um but I'll also defend a bad joke because they're also making bad jokes, and you kind of have to get to the good joke, you have to make bad jokes. I'll defend like a comedian's right to say them. I won't defend sometimes the specific way that they're saying them, because like on a base value, the ideas and thoughts may not be great. But in terms of the art form, I feel like I like to talk the most about it. I like to change people's mind of how they view it the most. That's the one.
I like that. That's good.
All right.
Defend that shit, man. Defend that.
Yeah.
All right. Hit me. Hit me.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
Go
we
for it. Go for it.
good to continue? Okay.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
If you lost all of your possessions but one, what would you want it to be?
Possessions are not humans, right? I
Okay, I feel like your girlfriend would be flattered that you would choose her, but like I don't know how much she'd like want you to call her your possession, but I don't know.
uh, sorry. Sorry. Can you say that again? If I were to
Yeah,
lose,
sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. If you lost all of your possessions but one, what
Mhm.
would you want it to be?
um, what do I have? So like recently I've lived a pretty simple life. Like I don't have a lot of stuff to begin with. Um, you know what? What's that line? Like of all the things I I miss the most, I miss my mind.
Hmm.
You know,
Is it
possessions, I guess like your brain is you you possess your brain.
okay? I don't think we need to go that deep. I mean, like
Okay, a thing.
something that was produced in China. I don't know, made in China.
One thing that I would really, if I lost everything, I would, what do I have around here? No, hell, my laptop, because I recently
Mm,
bought a new one. I don't want to spend another N thousands of dollars to buy another one. So my
yeah.
laptop,
Okay. Okay. Multi-purpose. Multi-purpose.
multi-purpose. Okay. All right. Your question. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Okay. What's one place you've traveled to that you never want to go back to?
It'd be funnier if I could say it right away, but I actually I don't know. I can't think of any place I wouldn't want to go back to, because I feel like regardless of whichever situation or place I was in, that going back to it would offer a certain perspective. Like even if it was like the worst experience,
Mhm.
like I can't think of exactly what the worst experience would be, but if even if it was something that was the worst experience ever, but then going back to it now, having time pass now, having,
Yeah.
lived how much I've lived in between those experiences, I'd be like, I think regardless of the impact or negative impact,
Mhm.
just going back to it would offer a certain closure or a certain perspective that I think would be valuable either way. So I don't think I could say any one.
How about a place in time?
Oh, a place and time. Tough to say. Tough to say.
Like a moment that you really hurt your parents, or like a moment that you broke up with your girlfriend, or
Hmm. Um, I think any time where I feel like I was at a crossroads where I wasn't able to make a choice. Kind of like, again, I
oh,
can't
okay.
think of a specific, but I can definitely feel like a situation or a feeling where it feels like I'm at a crossroads where there isn't, like, it feels like you're stuck, but it
Yeah.
also feels like there's no solution that kind of, maybe, no, not even when I could imagine maybe if I first moved to Toronto,
Yeah.
like not having a job in that first period of time and feeling like, am I gonna fail?
Uh-huh.
Is this gonna is like, but then also acknowledging that I made the step to move out here with the risk of it, and like things might not be happening,
Mhm.
right? But it's the mere fact that it's like, okay, I think what it is like I'm waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
Like in that moment where it's like I feel like I'm doing what I can do, but then you get stuck in all you can do is wait. Those moments.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like literal helplessness movements.
Yeah, whereas like it feels like I'm doing what I have to do. I'm putting all the actions that I can, and then it's out of my hands and I just gotta wait.
Oh no, that's like the job searching.
Kind of, kind of. It's like
Okay.
having that just period of uncertainty
Mhm.
is like I don't want to go back to it, but then at the same time, it's like you kind of have to still live through it and still have to grind through it and persevere through it. I'm going way off. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just wanted a country. Like you didn't want to go to Azerbaijan or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I took your possession is the mind and really made it a whole nother fucking answer. Okay, fine. I wouldn't want to go back to um St. John's, Newfoundland. I don't know. Actually, I think
Whoa,
St.
all
John's
our
is,
Newfoundland fans are gonna be pissed.
I know. Anyways, what's final question? Final
Okay.
question, last question. St. John's is actually pretty nice. Everybody should go there. What's your go-to dance move?
Um,
And how has it manifested as a result of your inner childhood traumas? I'm just kidding.
um, my go-to dance move. For a while it was the shopping cart, and then 2 years later I expanded from that. Then I went to the sprinkler, and and now, oh man, and now it's a mix of Beyonce mixed in with Sia's video from Chandelier. Remember that girl that was in it?
How do you dance to that? Oh
Oh,
no,
you,
I'm
you
thinking Miley Cyrus's "Can't Wrecking Ball." Okay, so
no,
so as in just like free form.
yeah, just
Oh,
move and take up space, own your space. So man, if you see me dancing, I'm just like a four-limbed used car lot inflatable tube thing. I just take
that's
up space, man.
that's great.
So
That's
that
great.
that's my move. Yep.
Nice.
Okay, Josh, your last question. I don't like that one. Eh. Oh,
No,
I know, I know, I know.
the
Okay, okay,
randomness of
okay,
it is the point.
okay. All right, I settled on this one, and not because of anything, but just yes, you're right, the randomness. So, okay, who is your favorite teacher and why? And don't
Oh,
say life is your favorite
okay,
teacher.
fine. All right, I'll shut the fuck up. That part of me. No, 100%. I know exactly who my favorite teacher is.
Okay.
My English teacher in high school. 100%.
Their name?
Miss Mr. Okay, fine. Mr. Wallace. 100%.
Shout out
Because
Mr. Wallace.
I did lit class, AP class or in high school for it. It's like a full year of it. It was an extensive like writing intensive type of course. We had to write like a 25-page Canadian literature essay report at the
Mhm.
very end
Mm.
of the class. And like before then, I didn't know exactly. I can't even remember exactly what my writing was like before,
Mhm.
but I knew after going through that class and then the subsequent years lit class, I had him again for in my senior year,
Mhm.
where it's like I think he was the single most effective teacher who I could see how the skills I learned through his classes have just set me up for essentially the rest of my life. Like all the other courses I took were like, okay, good to have that knowledge, blah, blah, blah. But the
Mhm.
writing intensive one,
Yeah.
like I honestly don't think I would be able to write if I hadn't taken his course. Because a lot of the kind of other courses were pretty, I'm not gonna say bullshit, but like they were pretty standard, like, oh, you write this essay, blah, blah, blah. But he was actually really passionate about it. And like he really
Nice.
wanted to teach us the hard skills you need to know. And through that class, like freaking throughout university, anything I wrote, like I'd get an A minus, like regardless of where I started it. Like there are many essays I wrote that were writing intensive like research papers where I would start literally the night before,
Mhm.
churn it out, like just like spend it all night to churn it out, and I still get an A minus
Wow.
just because of the basic tools and um critical thinking when it came to writing a coherent thought that
Nice.
at least allowed me to find the right research, right examples to come up with a thesis and hypothesis. So essentially, like anything I write later on as well is also attributed to what I learned through that. So it's like 100% is that teacher, and 100% I realize how important teachers are. Like if you get a good teacher,
Yeah.
that will change your life 100%.
Yeah.
And if you have bad teachers, that will
Oh,
also kind of fuck your life up.
oh, plenty, plenty,
Yeah.
man. So shout out to, oh, sorry, what's his name?
Mr. Wallace,
Mr. Wallace. Shout out Mr. Wallace.
who incidentally, he had a picture of James Joyce in his class and he looked like a carbon cutout of James Joyce. Even though James Joyce was like alive 100 years ago, the photo he had and like how Mr. Wallace looked exactly like James Joyce. It's pretty funny.
Shout
Well, I
out to
mean,
the lookalike James Joyce.
it was pretty funny in a literary sense, but I mean, not I don't know if it was like that funny, but it was just like funny that he was an English teacher and I think his favorite writer was James Joyce as well. Anyways, that's my answer.
I like that.
Okay, this has been the most random episode. I feel like out of like we're all over the place on this one.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool too, because after we edit this, there's a lot of stoppages that we have to do with this. And for good reason too.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of surprise guests, Josh, but none that you guys will see. So next week, we have some special things coming up, right?
What a way to just like leave a dangling leave it dangling. It's like we had a lot of very interesting guests. You'll never see them.
My folks came. My folks came, guys. My folks came.
But yeah, you were saying.
Oh no, no. I was just about to say that my folks came in and out.
Oh,
So,
okay.
um, Josh, what are your handles?
All right, we got to do that.
Yeah,
At Josh Yan Comedy across everything. And also you could follow the Sleep with Josh podcast. I swear I'm gonna start getting back to 2 episodes a week.
please.
But yeah, you could do that. And Lucas, hey, what are your handles?
Everyone can follow me at Lucas John Ing on Instagram and on Facebook. I don't use Twitter. I don't have TikTok yet. So just those two things there.
Oh,
Uh,
you got to get TikTok, and then you got to do
oh,
your flailing dances, because then you'll turn that into a TikTok. You'll turn that into a TikTok dance, and then that will simultaneously lead to your Hallmark movie.
I'm 32, man. I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, yeah. It really. I'm coming up with this bit about TikTok where it's like why it's like I don't understand TikTok, and I'm only like 28 in like mid late 20s, right? It's like it's
Yeah.
already the kids these days are already like I just don't even I can't figure out how to use it because there's so much effort. And then I realized
Huh.
the reason why so many young people like TikTok and why it's like it's so hard and takes so much effort and time to do it is because these kids are young. They have time.
Yeah.
They have the
Yeah.
life to give to this app that makes you like stop, stop, start, stop, stop, and then like you practice this dance a million times. You do a bunch of drafts or whatever, and it's like you have to be young to use this app because like
Yeah.
it takes so much fucking time. I don't have that time to do that.
You know what? Okay, on that note though, I don't want to be that grumpy old man that's like screaming at the clouds, like in The Simpsons.
I
So you
don't
know what?
know.
Screw it. No, I am gonna download it. I am gonna learn it. Screw it. I'm gonna do it because that's how you grow old, Josh.
Hey, you know what? I'm starting to get that mentality because that cloud, it's just there. It's
Oh,
like, why is that cloud there? That's just like, it's trying to fuck with me. That's what that cloud is.
everyone,
Makes sense. It makes sense what I'm saying as I get older.
you sound like a 50-year-old man though.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not even gonna attempt that. Anyways, yeah, this is the most random episode we've done. If you like it, you should follow and like and subscribe to this podcast, the HWMIY podcast, the Have We Made It Yet podcast. Say it out, spell it out, and then put an ad on it. Thank you.
I love it. Peace and love, everyone. Wear a mask. Stay safe. Wash your hands. We love you. Bye bye.